Okay, so there's in the first place ensure that the devices or cell phones are switched off on silent mode or progress. Drugs caused on making the growth stop and so muted and all of the lower than this may be some kind of something like this in it, and nothing else or live stream and record it properly. And will be available to view on a council's new fit channel. The emergency exits for this road, the public can over here and the exit behind me, beside me. If we need to evacuate the building, use one of these exits and assemble outside by the playground, which is okay side. And please remain the assembly area until the building here. In the event we experiencing any unruly or intimidating behaviour during the course of the meeting, we will adjourn as well as setting up the when convenient. And members of subcommittee staff will congregate in the office area of the meeting if this actually is necessary. So, that is very good. That's it. In the meeting here, everybody, passwords. Please join me. We all want to be yeah, Jinx. So we have project something really I got a mover and a second quality figure. Those in favour, please say aye. No. Motion is carried. Are there any conflicts of interest? We're going to discuss the meeting in minutes. So, meetings for the minutes. So we can go in from subcommittee and any corrections to those minutes? You? James. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, no. Motion is carried. Right, okay, and then I'll schedule the meetings and changes to the chamber. That's what we have in mind. So, now we're on the open meeting following from the grants considerations as per the schedule. Okay, so thanks to the group again. We might open the table, so that is coming up. We have 5 minutes to speak, and that 5 minutes includes questions. So if you want to try to ask questions, or that will be a little bit shorter. We get really close to time tonight. Lena here is going to signal when we're at 4 minutes. She can either do that by raising hand or take the table. Let me know. I think the first one's questions or comments.
Thank you for listening to us today. We're from Cobblestone Museum. My name is Joseph Gillard. Mr. Brian Gray, and Liz Bushell. We're board members. Cobblestone has been around for more than 50 years. We grew out of community effort to save our built heritage at that point. Since then, we've evolved considerably. We have ended up being a repository for quite a number of significant buildings from Wairarapa. 6 of them have category 2 listings with Heritage New Zealand. We had a turning point about 10 years ago when we got some professional advice as to the museum, and that resulted in our exhibition hall about 10 years ago. But we've been on that trajectory since then. And our current project is perhaps the last significant building we will undertake. And again, we're taking building it on the basis of professional advice, and it will provide a further display hall. And our existence was cemented last year with an agreement with Greytown Trustlands Trust. They own 77% of our site, and we committed to a lease with them for 99 years at $1 a year. So they had confidence in us being there and doing the right thing for quite a considerable amount of time. That's my introduction.
Well, yes, the project is 2 sheds that were built in 70s sheds. Not fit for purposes now, and we can't use them to display. So in that we added 3.5 meters and gap to increasing the space from 60s. So and then putting front facades on. So and so then it's broken up into 3 sections: pedestrian vehicles, the dairy co-op industry back in the late 80s, and then the full industry. And then the dairy focus. The Houston section space is 140 squares, and so that is we open up to 1 big space and then we start to start or you put and put style so they can be stepped. But the value of it is just over 500,000 in build cost. We had 70,000 of voluntary personal services provided free, and
Right. What we're excited about is a particular proposition, because that when we move the horse-drawn carriages out of the main exhibition hall, there is an agreement with, we're actively discussing an agreement with Applicants for the White Amazon come in and work with them and guided by them to create extra space to tell our horticultural history, which traditionally would tended just to be European in the past, but we now know that we wouldn't be here if it hadn't been basically for the help of the Maori people when we first came to Wairarapa. So we're really excited about that, and I believe there are some tales that they are talking about being able to display there, which have never been seen in public before. So we're really excited about that. We're also looking at investing throughout the whole museum as well, and then we can use this to as an educational point with children, with everybody really. Something. We've just recently, only last day, had a discussion with our marketing manager who's come through to say that the Appawai and the stargazing for Carter are looking at coming in and doing specific quarterly, they're not seminars, activities at Appawai, at cobblestones. So that at cobblestones. Have we met some of your
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
You want to wrap up when you fish? And is there any very points you want to make?
No, basically what I wanted to say is that we need your cultural, we need your economic, we provide short to the economic gain for the big businesses working on it, and obviously we're going to need social activities that we actually hold a public and set museum community.
Right. Yeah. You do have quick questions for the panel?
Excellent presentation. So 500,000 is what you're on. And raised 200 there. So it was 200 to go.
We're 20% short of our funding at the moment. 20%. Yeah.
And of the 100,000 we're short, we had after already.
Yeah.
Okay. About 70,000.
Yeah.
So you predicted it's construction industry slow later on this year.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, that was a question I was going to ask about. Oh, thank you also.
Yes.
Excellent.
I'd like to invite Raytons and leaders.
So Gary has produced a slide, so I will pop that in the background. Technological. Are you happy for me to present the committee?
Oh, sure.
Yes, so that's she.
With the chair, top of the slide.
Right. The microphone.
Oh,
Thank you very much for the subcommittee for involvement today. My name is Gary Hughes and I'm representing Great Hills Leisure and the four clubs that sit within the Wellbeing new development bill looking to place. So the grant funding today, so I'm here to talk about. If you look at the slide, we've got the Community Wellbeing Fund. In the middle, we've got all the range of activities that we do within the Wellbeing activities across all those four clubs. We, again, will support wellbeing criteria talked about in the proposal, so I'm not going to go through them. So to save time, I can answer questions on that. One particular area is the wellbeing. I've been involved in clubs in some way, and psychologists, and I fundamentally believe in the investment in activities and recreation facilities for good mental health and prevention of suicide. And it's a particularly big topic in the we know that over the last 12 years we've lost 82 people. One of the key evidence-based things you can do in community prevention by something like District Health Board website, the communities that matter is investing in recreation facilities, so social connectedness, physical, so it's environment, social connectedness. Yes. This is the building that we're looking to establish. It's changed a lot over the last 5 years since funding was first put in place, and we've worked really hard to bring the costs down. Whilst costs have gone up by 40%. So you can see the front of the building there. It's going to be a hub centre. Next one, please. So a big drive around this. We'll now have 4 changing rooms. We've had a big increase in female participation across our sports. We only have 1 shower at the moment. It's totally acceptable. Now, in your proposal, you're talking about butterfly effect and ripples. So I just want to talk a little bit about how we create ripples from a hub in breakdown. So if you look at our clubs in there, we've got 400 in those 4 clubs, probably one of the largest concentrations of memberships in Wairarapa. And next one, please, Leader. What you'll also notice in there is associated with those clubs, we have programs. So we have children who run football academy, which is girls only sports. We run holiday programs, we coach coaches, we do a whole range of things. So, and that's about 500. Next one. Now, outside of that, the next ripple you'll see is how we engage with community around this. And this is right across the South Wairarapa and Carlton. What you'll see there is we have our festivals, we have a site from the morning into the afternoon playing sport. We go out to schools around the South Wairarapa, which is all the schools in the South Wairarapa. We can go through 480 students. We have coaching currently. We've supported Carlton Football Club. We've got support from all the number of sports clubs around the Wairarapa. And you'll also notice in there Saturday sports and teams. So we have teams visiting every week, almost from over the hill for junior and senior sports. Bring that all together, it's nearly 70,000. It's almost, if you look at it, 70% South Wairarapa. So we impact a lot of people, but we also support people community, socially. I know conversations that go around that help people. That happens because we have that. That's how. So next one, please. So I thought it'd be useful just to show you a plan so that you got it. Reference documents and I'm pause there so questions.
Have a financial, the funding.
Yeah, so the total project is 1.3 million. We've got 1.15 million funded. That was funded 6 years ago, which came out and was a lot of work sports societies did to get that in place. COVID then hit, costs exploded. We then had a recost of $3 million, and we came back to 1.3. Currently have a gap 70, and that's based on those. So reworked the model. Now buildings being built off-site and coming in. We haven't been in situ, but our decking area that you'll see on that document previously, it's a lot of us fund that creates our accessibility. This would be inside and outside of the facility. So in short, about 170,000 as we stand.
Thank you so much. It was a really, that's a great presentation. I think it was really important we can hear about the different impacts to wellbeing and you know, the different types of wellbeing. So I really appreciate you talking to that as well. I'm just wanting to know how much you have actually raised the Greytown community fundraised for this. How much are you putting towards this yourselves? I see that the council has already put money in. I know it's been a few years, but it is still there. And so just really like to know how much you've been able to provide.
So that initial investment just came up with a lot of work that with the council. We've also got $60,000 for their property that we're contributing. You'll see that in the financial model that we've produced as well. And we're also seeking to go out to other funders as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much.
Thank
Yes.
you. Foi mapa, porque vai, aula me kumanya, por lá te aula, tira na noite aula, o vai lá com manda, que a kumanya, o covid noite no vai, ati, tiga para nós tipo por a casa dele na rua, mas é que pode já for. So, on Norway's fighting, I am fighting at Maria, I'm probably going to help to Finland. Fighting, stand fighting, and I go out and people as a new thing. In Europe. Who are we? So we are COVID agreement line, which was established in 1952, not long after the migration of the Tano from the island to Norway. The Malay, because the community hall shifted onto the site in the 1990s, it was rededicated as the line, and since then the building has been through renovations at the time. Alliance supports the hapu community located in and not limited to Pirinoa to Matakitapia. Brief overview of our project. Then, the process and the Pūnui Marae, it's called the Pūnui Marae Enhancement Project. To support and to uphold their responsibilities to provide for the hapu and wider community while upgrading the facility to enable us to accommodate the hapu farming units. Increasing our sleeping, eating, cooking, food storage and storage of items for emergency is how we plan to do this, or is what's needed to be able to do this. I believe, or we believe, that the project taps on just about every one of the wellbeing kaupapa. The ability to host for people more often to visits and more sustainable income for our lives so that we can continue to support our community. Increase opportunities for employment to both the environment, tourism, business, population, agricultural and forestry workers. Attracting more people will get a flow on effective businesses from Pirinoa, Lake Ferry, and across the coast, much more in this delivery of events, BG nursery and native plant cultivation and events down in treaty training.
provided local hunting tours and whatnot activities. And Waka, we are likely to be the ideal place to host something great environment associated with it. Environmental is the closest lie to what I want. We have hosted the Wellbeing Statutory Board as we collectively work towards facilitating protection and care of our moana. Our nursery project is helping to restore biodiversity around the area, especially around our moana. Our cultural monitoring workshops teach our community how to care for our environment through Ngāwhara and Māori. And uplifting our ability to host volunteers for nursery and native plant beds will in turn enhance our ability to care by our environment. Our aspirations are to provide and facilitate enhanced cultural experiences into our body that can empower future generations to be more connected with healthier. To do this properly, we need funding to provide the tangible efforts to allow us to deliver this experience. Embedded in our culture and practices, the inherent responsibility as Māoris defender to care for the people and the environment of our part of the coastal community is important to us from emergency response that we can do this effectively. Disaster risk management and well thought out emergency response can only and not only save lives, but alleviate really much stress associated with living in real time disaster. Our Māoris is pivotal to the costs for the regular residents in this coastal district and hundreds of citizens. When people leave us feeling that they are cared for, they feel connected, their well-being is
Yeah, so that just pushes on. There we go. Thank you. I'm really impressed with it. That really what
Is around disaster management. And one of the things that was talked about was that the conversations between councilmen's government and the conversation should happen when the kids don't wait till it's cold. And I think this is a good example of starting to conversations. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming out this morning. It's not a problem like that, and we really appreciate all of you taking the time to come out here. And I'd like to acknowledge all of the ones who, not just sit across the knee, but from Wellbeing, who over the years has helped the South Wairarapa District Council by the advice on the Wellbeing Committee. Throughout the years, I see to the year, we and you know, talking about names that we know that have helped us to move forward, and this only strengthens what we do here in the council.
We've got like members who like to finish with your life. Oh, no, que baila la paloma, Tuana, Tawana, Tuana, Tawana. Right. Yes, we'd like to invite the Light Rail Veterans Society a headache to complement.
Yes.
It's gonna make a little noise or wave.
Okay. My name's Simon Davis, I'm representing the London State Party. And we're asking for some assistance with to do so will cost $3,765 plus GST. And so far with Canvas residents, we do have some pledges to outside help. So a part donation would be welcome. There are a number of AEDs around Barcelona, as you know. Fire station. And if someone has a medical event, the fire brigade will aim to be on site within about 5 minutes, and we usually do 20 minutes or so ahead of their minutes. The time is crucial if someone is agreed. I thought I'd fix it and ask you to hold your breath. Get some of the presentation. But more than the AED, probably more important is having someone who's skilled enough to use one and to manage airways and pressures properly. So the part of this package will be training 10 or 12 people from the estate who will obviously bring those skills into the village. And having that ability to operate as a team, manage a scene, other people, it's crucial. Now, I know that these things save lives. I'm a firefighter in the medical first responder fire brigade, and I've seen the difference these make. They don't work for all heart conditions, but actually doing compressions does. So this package will be both residents more broadly than this one. It's a simple.
Any questions from the team?
Just clarify, did we say that there is one at the golf course?
Yes.
So there is one thing, but yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But if you,
It's not.
if you're at the end of fairway and someone isn't bringing to get to the golf course and get access to it, that would be a good couple of minutes. Because you've got to get there, you've got to dial 111, you've got to open the lockbox, you've got to get back, and you may not be in the best frame of mind when you do. So I don't think it's overproduction having more of these devices and having more people trained to use them. Back in your state is the residential estate. Residential estate, that's the golf course. Gated community. No, it's not a gated community. It's the golf course.
Just a slide. No, you do the council one. Clicks. It's one on the outside of the it's putting in the spot there.
It's got looks like trying people down.
Yeah, I don't have questions. I think they're great. As a professional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Am I dismissed?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And then next on the list, we have the layout of the Muslim.
I'm talking before. President Gates.
Our project is a seismic strength upgrade of Studio C3 plus an extension to the building. The little theatre was established about 100 years ago. We celebrated the milestone a few years ago when we purchased Studio 73. It was the old St John Hall. Ultimate John Hall was built by the community more than 60 years ago, funded by the community. And when we purchased it from St John, we made the commitment that we would continue community use of the facility. We saw that as an important part. We are an important part of the community being there a long time. But I thought I'd just, because you've got all that passion and all that stuff. So I thought I'd just tell you some of the common use the place today. Currently our regular weekly users include 5 dance exercise group sessions that encompasses a range of daytime activities. 2 Tai Chi groups, 1 sit-down exercise class, after-school drama classes for primary students. In addition to that, we have arts and crafts markets at least twice a month on a Saturday. Local artists, and they've got it from sideways cards. There are monthly folk concerts on Sunday afternoon promoted by Up Close and Personal, another Plato group. South Wairarapa Trampoline meets there once a month. They've been meeting there, I think, well. Another recent one-offs include Red Robins at fundraising vote, and just it's interesting that Cobblestone's been here fundraising for Cobblestone, so we're part of a broader community. The AGM of the Papua Stream Restoration Group was held there last week. Based on early years AGM, the hospice shop comes in occasionally. For the likes of the hospice shop and some of these other goes down to a toy library for fundraising coming up on early October. Then we also make the studio about concerts and things like that. So in addition to our own activities, which normally take place at night and weekends, we fit in with these in the group. Today, for example, use today as an example, there was a dance class in the middle of the day. The after school drama group was doing their thing. Tonight, we opened a show last night. We had a reset all of the part of the clock stage, but the rest of it tonight coming in tonight. So there's a show going on there. Just some other little bit of background. The project's going to cost around about $500,000. We're trying to keep it around that because we've got children. We've raised over 40k ourselves. That's a donors. We've got a donor scheme, highly successful with individuals. A number of people have given us $5,000. As well as some of the user groups have given us money. The community board has put $5,000 towards it last year. So there's over $40,000, a bit more after our season finishes. We've raised another 190 from Trust House Foundation supported it. Eastern Central $65,000 support for it. But the big thing is we've got to go to lotteries. Last year we weren't going to find it, not because the project. So we repackaged it and we're going to go back with private project, cost-wise, more volunteer input. It will go back to the beginning of September. One of the things the lotteries like to know as the local council. Support from this funding really important. I think it's the links to community wellbeing. It's identified your contribution if it's your Sunday. I had
Any questions?
no.
Very relaxed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
The next one's,
Oh, yeah,
so that's not quite available, but, courage, yeah.
Yes, courage, dear heart, courage. Am I okay to ask Kendall?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I've got it. I know what's in the text word.
We just need to make sure we get it clever.
More problem. And Greater Middle Theatre actually is partly responsible for why I'm here because the beginning of it began there. So I'm cool. Yeah. Okay, I will read because it's so close to my heart, I'd probably just smile and cry. Courage Dear Heart is a partnership of a group of individuals who want to join with and celebrate the wellbeing journeys of members of our local community. Having launched a modest but passionate event and music video last year, we're ready to make Courage Dear Heart an annual celebration which dovetails with Mental Health Awareness Week. In New Zealand, we made up of myself, other members of Tangle Community Dance Company, Star Jam Masterton, a band from Kurunui College, local singer and music teacher Lace Rohana, friends of Courage Dear Heart, and local health professionals and healing practitioners, plus more. The plan, Friday afternoon, we kick things off with the children. They're magical. A man has his tea party in Narnia, complete with hot chocolate. The making of Courage Dear Heart banners will ensue. Then the children will head to the Squircle and conduct a Courage Dear Heart. That evening, music and celebration will erupt from the Anzac Hall. International flying nun artist Vera Ellen, local singer Lace Rohana, a band from Kurunui College and Tasmanaza of the Rainbow Community will all perform, and Vera, Lace and Tava all have their own wellbeing journeys along with ours. On Saturday, there'll be 2 wonderful presentations of 8 personal wellbeing stories. Music, dance and poetry will be added in to highlight the journeys of our diversely aged, gendered and ability speakers. Between and after the presentations, representatives from local health professionals and healing professionals and the speakers themselves are available. So there'll be plenty of information on services and community groups for ongoing support and rations of local ginger beer, hot chip butties and friends of Courage Dear Heart on that baking. By focusing on well-being rather than mental health alone, we're going to reduce the stigma and create a positive narrative around personal growth and resilience. Our event encourages individuals to share their stories and foster a supporting community environment. We have diverse representation and including different gender, race, ability and ages ranging from 16 to 85 in the speakers, of course, but for children involved. We have interactive events, the Mad Hatter's Tea Party in Narnia, the Hope Walk live performance, and the personal invitation to discussion with a community of health and healing practitioners and speakers. It's affordable and inclusive. We have suggested 4 hours of $2, $5 and possibly $10. And our Courage Dear Heart Wairarapa Facebook page will enable us to ongoingly engage community. We highlight and promote local groups such as Flow, which offers ongoing community-based support. Our community connection is broad, with individuals, professionals and groups coming together to host this Wairarapa wide list and host this. And we've also got Wairarapa Wide Business and added their exposure with window displays. We actually aim to start a nationwide movement. To measure our success, we'll record numbers, have a feedback form and monitor engagement with our Facebook page. Okay, the vital word. Courage Dear Heart, a celebration of our wellbeing journeys, is absolutely vital to us and the communities that we serve. It's high time for a groundbreaking flame to ignite in the area of wellbeing in this nation. Now, you know, of diverse people. So why not start by sending out the light and the warmth of that flame here in South Wairarapa? And with this humble flame, let us reduce the stigma surrounding mental health, not with negativity, but with celebration, inclusive celebration. Note the use of the word our in the name of this 2-day event. Do I need to stop? No. To this end, an already diverse community of 100 or so people are coming together in a show of love, encouragement and collective belonging, so that we all might go away uplifted and filled with the knowledge that community support systems are available, that health and healing practitioners are keen to engage, and that a wellbeing journey is a unique thing to be celebrated and supported. And a year ago at the Great Mount Little Theatre, Vera sang the song about how she didn't jump off the bridge at Broadway Junction. And she started this, and so it's really awesome that she jumped at being, in a good way, at being willing to sing for us. So here we are, and many others in 2024 ready, hopefully with the help of this Community Wellbeing Fund, ready to fan the flame, and which we hope will not only vitally uplift our diverse local wellbeing community, but also inspire hundreds more flames to light across Aotearoa in the coming years.
Thank you so much. Any questions? Yes, please.
That's quite quick. So we've already, you have already locked in all these different events happening at this time, all the people, so they're already.
The man from Kurunui, Farley, will be helping you with, that Vera's booked. Yeah, I talked to Lena because I didn't realise that I could do this, and within an hour I had Vera, I had the whole booked. I had Shan, who's partnering with me, she's sick, she sends her apologies. This thing seems meant to happen. Yeah.
And what day was it for?
It's September 27th and 28th, which is during Mental Health Awareness Week.
Thank you.
There's a couple of questions. Firstly, you mentioned 500 people. How are you?
Well, it has to be, what's the word, estimated. but given that I have 100 people involved putting the event together, 500 I think is a pretty good estimate. And also given that we have someone like Vera Allen on the night performance, who is of an international standard as a draw card for that, but also the more individuals we have involved, the more you bring, and that's something that I've always been good at involving others and just before you know it. So it could be done for that. You don't know, but I think 500 is a modest estimate.
And terms of funding.
We had 13,700 there. I found out that sound is a bit more expensive than I thought, but well worth it because the event, the sound, the music event, the bit where we're trying to get more exposure. So it may have gone up a little bit than that. And there's always a rejigging, but I think we just need to have good sound. And I'm aware that an individual can only ask for $2,000, but because there's so many people involved here, we're an organisation without an organisation. Right. Thank you.
That's not me.
Right, yeah.
But it's nice, isn't it?
Thanks. Thank you.
And then, wellbeing festival.
I'm not coming from her gig, it's the top in the world, this is everyone. I would definitely be doing that. But great, I'm here. Events, but a lot of people know me as the other communities advisor for something like a district council. An idea has emerged that is very exciting to a group of us. And what we're proposing is South Waitanapa Community Festival, which essentially will be coming together across the district. We've sort of noticed a bit of a gap. There large scale events that happen in South Waitanapa typically only for people who live here. I don't know about you, but I go to very much for fair or any of those sorts of events. And so we wanted to create something that's actually for the people that live here So it's something that people want to bring their kids along to. So it's something that people can connect with other residents and really be an opportunity for local groups, local performers, local artists to showcase their talents, their crafts, from the woman who does Tai Chi here, at Martinborough Hall, the lady who does Zumba, lots of our young performers coming up at Kuranui, that would like an opportunity to actually showcase their talents in front of their community. I haven't, in my time here, seen an event that happens for the whole district. So we thought in choosing a venue that really is between three primary towns, it will be a coming together of the whole district. We have thought about cheaper alternatives whereby we maybe rotate between each town each year, which is still a possibility. But when it's in Featherston, it will be more of a Featherston festival. When it's in Martinborough, it will be more of a Martinborough festival, and vice versa. So the idea was that we would love to create something with the community, for the community, where everyone has a seat at the table, where the barrier to entry is non-existent because you can just show up. You can give a koha if you want to give a donation, which will go to the local charity. And the reason why we're really excited by the prospect of this funding is we're hoping that this can be the start of an inaugural event, that this can be the seed funding to get it started, so that it can be a long-standing event. And once we've seen a successful version, we'll be able to go to, get advertisers, get funders, get maybe the council buy-in, that sort of thing. But we're hoping that through seeing it and through everyone being a part of it, that they'll see the value in it and want to invest in this going forward. So that's the general idea. It takes up a lot of social wellbeing. So we want to have space at the venue. I'm not sure if you've been to the venue, but it has lots of unique nooks and crannies where you can have different aspects. So you have room for volunteer stalls for people. I know a lot about volunteer groups who want new members, and so there's space for that, but there would also be space for the kids to cause mayhem, get messy, have fun, be safe, and if we did want to, there would also be areas where, it's 4 p.m. on a sunny day and the adults might want to have a gin from a local distillery or that sort of thing. We are hoping that we can create something that really is community driven. So not only is it for the whole of South Wairarapa, but rather than being commercially focused, it's actually for community. So while if you want to have a good community event, you want to get your hot chips, you want to still be able to purchase things, you want to be able to buy some local honey if there's some good stuff going, but it's not what it's about. That will be an aspect that in future years could support the venue costs for getting, and we're still, those that can help fund it. But in the meantime, we're just hoping that we can create something that will really support South Wairarapa as a district coming together and becoming a bit more connected to what's actually available in the community. What are the groups? What are their activities? And especially what lights me up is the idea of young people in the community as well having a space to share their talents in front of their peers. It would be really meaningful. So that's a general overview of the idea.
That's one question. What's success look like?
So for me, success would look like the participation, involvement, and collaboration with lots of different groups. So attendance is obviously going to be a big marker of success, seeing how many people we can get through the door, which is why we factored in a marketing budget into this. Also knowing as well that at South Wairarapa District Council we have the enthusiasm of the potential to help that. But I think even before getting started, we'll be able to know success by the amount of people or groups that we can involve that want to be a part of this and see the value in it. From my dealings with lots of different groups and that sort of thing, that people relish this opportunity to actually be a part of something. So for me, that would be success, and how many people we can collaborate to create it.
So, I just want to clarify, first, what was the dates that you're looking for?
So the date we're proposing is November 16th.
That's
So
the thing.
16th, which is about 4 months away. So we'd have a lot to rustle up in that time. It was the weekend that Toastmaster Group was going to be, so we thought it might be a good opportunity to create something district-wide. There was that little gap, which is normally in sort of people's calendars, not my personally. So that's the proposed date. If the subcommittee has specific questions or there's things we need to tweak and refine about our proposal, then we might have to check with the venue if we can move it to say February or something. Yeah, so that's the proposed date.
And how many groups do you have already lined up? Like we just heard from someone else that
Yeah.
you get various groups coming out.
I was very impressed. I wanted to manage this. So we haven't. What we've started with is the working group, and we've got all the people that were ready to show up with CAP. I hope this doesn't sound like a pop out, but we wanted to try and get the seed funding first before we started making promises, especially with lots of my conversations with different groups. I already know that there's appetite and interest that can be called upon. So we've been speaking to, I've spoken to different people about it, but we haven't actually, until we get the funding secured, we haven't actually started locking people in.
I just said this. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my head around. You've got one exact amount here of what you're requesting, but what is that? Is that just average or what?
So it's not, it's not completely my area of expertise, but these are the different costings we've been given by Tofod and Negro Race Force for their various, for the contractors they use for different things. So that was the costings come from the review as in what it would cost for those two consultants.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Because I just thought. Yes.
Oh, if you're only seeing time number, it's just specific.
That's why I thought maybe you were defining some other groups.
Year one was 28,371. What's what happened year two? Well, this is all, what's this space going? So, right. So what happens next year?
That's when we're hoping for the success of this event. So either, I guess the two options being that we can get, that we start optimizing certain things like maybe this $5 entrance fee if we need it. Obviously, that's sort of more last resort. The idea is that it's a community event. That's where we would look at, pay to play in terms of local producers using that money to pay for the venue part of it. That's where also we would potentially be making applications for other different funds, whether that's community boards, the likes, and potentially as well, that we would be able to make a bid. Sorry, Janice, but maybe in the long-term plan for some funding for this, because as a council, we as well can. It's a really great opportunity for a positive news story and for us to actually, say for instance, someone that is going to be there, Nova is going to be there with the health and safety, Team Reno is going to be there. There's a lot for council to gain through this, so I am hoping that with a bit of supplementation from potentially some people that are willing to either promote themselves, with profit brokers want to put their face on some signs or that sort of thing. I'm hoping that if we can do a really great first, then it's a much easier sell to find the sustainable part of this.
And of course, and probably bigger in a lot of grass as well.
Yeah.
For a community in the future. I'm just thinking. So.
Yeah, and if we're not successful, and if we come back again and still not successful, then things like lotteries, they'll be very.
Like foundation.
Yeah.
Have we considered other funding?
No, when I learned about this, and sort of some of the members of the working group learned about this fund, we just sort of jumped at this opportunity and thought, let's get ourselves together quickly, which is why, you know, we haven't fully fleshed out. What's that?
You're on a certain time.
I'm on a certain time frame, so my the project managing this, me myself, not the I'll be here the front end. But yeah, so we just wanted to get it together as the first opportunity. And if we're unsuccessful, then you're back next month. So yeah, going next.
Community gallery. Everybody's with us until we last. Second one. Some agreements. Breakdown in area back. We're an inclusive art collective based in Grayson. Our gallery welcomes artists with all backgrounds and aims to promote community engagement through art. We strive to create a supportive environment where creativity, cultural diversity thrive. We're relatively new, so we've been open 12. We aim to deliver art workshops and exhibitions with a strong focus on sustainability and community wellbeing. So this application is about the workshops. We have a collective of amazing artists with great skill base, and we want to share that skill base with the community. So for instance, we emphasise printmaking, art projects using recycled materials, natural environmental materials, in conversation with paper stove, use makes handmade paper. So all of those things we seek to initiate a support and yeah, improving our overall community well. Okay, so now with the brief overview of that now. Okay, so the key objectives in educating the community on eco-friendly art techniques and encouraging the use of recycled materials, enhancing wellbeing, offering art workshops, fostering community bonds through collaborative projects and promoting inclusive activities for all age groups. How our project aligns with wellbeing outcomes, social wellbeing, facilitating art sessions and collaborative projects to boost mental health and community resilience. 2, economic wellbeing, attracting tourists, creating new business opportunities and developing skills for sustainable art practices. Environmental wellbeing, promoting eco-friendly art techniques and raising awareness about sustainability. The why, funding this project. First, we will measure success through obviously participant surveys, attendance records, visitor numbers, and feedback from community members. The why, funding this project is important for several reasons. Community. Our project will provide essential support for mental and emotional well-being. Helping our people manage stress and anxiety through creative expression, and the collaborative nature of our activities will strengthen community bonds and resilience. Sustainable future. We want to run these workshops and art practices to encourage the community to participate in it and to also do a bit more creativeness around recycling. Like sculptures out of recycled materials. So that we also already have a lot of success in the gallery with so many visitors, and we think that's going to both boost the local economy.
so that the people that attend these workshops are going to gain valuable skills. We're sharing knowledge and we would need to. So in conclusion, our Art for Community Wellbeing is never just an art project. It's a comprehensive initiative that addresses critical social, environmental and cultural needs of our community. And with your support, we want to launch this and make it lasting, creating a vibrant, resilient and sustainable community. Thank you. And very much. So good. That's very nice of it. I'm not used to presenting because I'm more of an artist. Just what community, can you give an example of what community art workshops we run? Okay, so at the moment we've been doing a lot of demonstrations, Christmas and Christmas, involved in the fire ice. So yeah, so we have run a printmaking workshop in the gallery. People free to come and do it's for the multimedia painting workshops and there's at the moment we're in the real estate is provide all the workshops. In my other hand, I've been running the free, so I've been facilitating workshops at so 2 weeks ago I ran an online printing workshop and we had 26 people that wanted to attend, only to 10. So we're running another one to that demand, especially if we're not charging. Because I mean, I think to attend art workshops, some of them are $140 a session, which is to me, you know, I get it because the art materials are so expensive. So this is the barrier to finding them. With our team of skilled people, well, we get to offer the art shops for free. Therefore, by getting the materials together, I've also applied for another grant for 2 big trestle tables that flip, so we can wheel them out and have people centered around the tables. So we just get those sort of practical things so that we can run them in the gallery and then wheel them out when we're not in that use. So I'm very appreciative.
So the next two, I'm speaking on behalf of the applicants, so these guys are more than welcome to. Catherine Bound and Julia Wildberry. Oh, yes. So, yeah. So the Outward Bound New Zealand Trust put forward an application for $5,000 to support in the contribution of costs to the Wairaka Regional Schools course they've designed specifically for our kids. It's called the Konawai course, and it will support students at Kununuhi College. They've asked me to play this video for you to show an example of what this course actually looks like and how it could impact children. Yes, children. Thank you.
Understand. It can feel a bit daunting because we have this technology, but also feel
Never feel like
The reason why the mobile phone taking out that putting that on is purely for without experience.
Yes, just get on the team.
So yeah, a lot of that falls off the back of COVID. So COVID put a pause on a lot of capital and infrastructure projects. And then when people did go back to the supply chain, it's just off the charts, and increased escalation costs meant that was going to take longer. So for the applicants that presented to you today, and in their supporting documentation, you can see they've done a lot of fundraising work to get to where they are, which I think is incredible. So as part of my recommendations, I did note to consider no less than 70 to 80% in terms of capital funding, particularly because some of those organisations can tag or attribute additional funds with lotteries, for example. Some of these other funds, if they secure a portion of significant funding from this fund. Another item to consider is we've received a very well written, a very well presented application from Kopanui Marae. The request is above the subcommittee's remit to get gift or grant. So there are a few options there for the subcommittee to consider. However, a few considerations on that as well is we are anticipating applications from Papua Marae and Hauriki Marae. The Hauriki Marae application is a platform component from discussion with council officers and council around the water rebate and how they can manage that. And it was advised that they presented a proposal for a project, and part of that was looking at water tanks and sustainability. So that's just something to consider, considering the total allocation is what we're looking at today. And then finally, we've got 2 more rounds. So we do want to have a bit of money in the kitty. And I know for a fact there are lots more exciting projects for you guys to assess and look at as a subcommittee.
I think it's always going to be the last thing with us tonight. Table spending. Great projects with all of our behind them. So yeah.
You could go
Yes, and I think one of the recommendations was to look at the Kahunumi Rai project and delegate grant an amount at this round, with consideration for potential funding in future rounds. I suppose something to consider as a subcommittee is if we do delegate that up to council, the timeline as opposed to the next funding round and how much is left from that. The next funding round is the 23rd of August is the deadline, and the meeting is the 3rd of September. So if we wait to delegate or to grant, there's less funds, and could that impact the total grant for that project?
Yeah, they want to get that this is for the full amount and very
You can make it up a second. The being together second plus also.
I don't think that's it. I don't think it goes to individual lives such. Not sure. Yeah, but, it's kind of yeah. So no. So it would be more. But like I say, they already have built it, so that's to a degree. So I mean, whatever we give to get started, you may find that they go to other funding streams as well. So I saw how regular items in the paper midweek about the solar panels that they've been able to get the being of sustainable energy disease.
Is that discussion on this being live stream still?
So I will share a master spreadsheet that sort of has the amounts requested and the scoring if you wanted to adjust the recommendations that I made, and then we can start going through each application and sort of looking at the numbers, or approved, declined, approved conditionally, at which amount, So I'm just struggling to connect. Yes, it's just,
So, everybody, we give it 5 minutes.
yeah, I've got the next one, get coffee.
Another sheet on. Someone like sign. Brandon, it's really vital, but you know, once you have been getting, so just more than water to. Here. Yeah. Yeah. What is it? I, oh, what's it?
Very exciting.
They have such a big audience. Don't know at least. Yeah.
Last very long and it was. It hurt me the whole thing. It ain't kind of the room. Oh, I know, yeah. What more and more to do, they have to.
So you're really studying grounds. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Well, Bacon. Oh, yeah, chance to connect to those.
Oh. Get in. Yeah.
You just had one and nice. Really has student jams and those, is it?
I just realized I have got we have to do. Well, I sat here, I think about 3 months from done with it.
No, they might move the house for a little while.
So when we were talking about, criteria piece, we talked about the different, categories. It was under the grassroots ones.
Yeah.
Have you got a breakdown of which one of them is, or where these all sit?
Yes, and so they've also applied within, so all of them have applied within their remit, within that structure for the total amount. I had the opportunity to speak with all these applicants before they submitted the final application, which was really good. Particularly Kahunui Marae and working with Nigel. The only person that I wasn't able to speak with prior was the Greytown Community Gallery. But they are an incorporated society. Yeah.
Wow.
See this all.
So, okay. Oh, I want to just, yeah, I want to follow this often. You can speak, I will take. Yeah, people shows it to me. The means. Sorry. I think the good news for the bunch of breakfast is 3 days. We've been on my thought and on. Again, when the calls to go in, so then however,
I think.
Next one.
So that now there's on four.
Was it?
Lawless IT, all right, should we have that over here?
Okay.
So let's switch to.
So, there are,
You flow. You know?
yeah,
Because you're worse for that's, you might be. That's right, leave it in the last one.
Just in case. should be able to.
So, no.
Okay. So project title, the amount requested. I've broken down a portion of the amount just for a visual so you can see what that might look like. I would highly recommend in some of these cases not going less than 70%, but it's completely at the subcommittee's decision on what level of investment they would like to fund for that project. I'll put the final amounts here so we can start to see what that total scale will look like, just to consider what's sort of left in the kitty for the next 2 rounds. I think it's important to look at that total amount as well, not just the individual applicant amounts. If you're happy with the summary provided, we can lock in some of these scorings, or we can just look at the numbers.
I think what might be quite good. So let's read the form first. Can we look at that Louise application first? Just because that's the biggest one that we've got in total. I think we can make a decision around that. What I would like to propose with this application, I think it's an extremely strong application. It ticks a lot of boxes. It is potentially going to unlock the ability to use that model for purposes. But from a council point of view, I really like this makes it a more effective emergency centre.
I think that's it. It's all interesting.
And taking care of the coastal communities, and I think it's really fantastic. So what I'd like to recommend is that we agree to fund up to 49,000, which is what we're allowed to approve under here, and then take a recommendation to council. I would like to propose funding and help what they've asked here, but bear in mind that that council meeting will happen after the next round of applications. Is that correct? Did I get that right?
It's the other way around. It's council to council. Is it not following?
So we have another round of funding applications for.
The next official council meeting after that will be the one at the end of October to adopt the report.
And the next fund grant meeting is the 4th of September.
Would you also suggest that we look at putting the balance of that into the LTP discussion?
Potentially, I think if we
As I've got shaken head.
okay.
It's a pretty definitive shaken head.
And presumably council can approve.
I think it just aligns so closely with what we're trying to achieve with this fund. And then it might be that by the time you get to the next council meeting, with the different applications, different funding agreements, things have changed, so maybe that recommendation would be different. But I think that would be the place to start. It would be really sure.
If you look at some of the things, some of them are urgent. Change quite worries. Doesn't right from the doors critical to the whole event. There's $5,000 in spend on that. If we are thinking of not giving all the money, can we break some of the less urgent down? We can make an opinion on that. There's quite a few others, like political and stuff. It's urgent in terms of what we're trying to do to get something up to them. So there's certain items we can pick from there and just put them back and put them into the second. Should they come back?
And I think, so from speaking, completely just to find out what they, because they are looking at doing, you know, they've already got that in place to actually have a staggered approach to how they were wanting to do the work anyway, because they know they can't do everything all at once. So to me, I was thinking 40 for this round anyway. So, you know, if you're happy with the 49 because the kitchen, so everything in there that where they're talking about getting their kitchen and all that kind of stuff, food storage, that's kind of the starting point there. So they've got that, you know, and I think that
I'm in agreement with the initial. I'm in agreement. I am not in agreement about then the recommendation to council for the full amount. Not because I don't think ultimately that we might get there. It's just, I think I'd like to do that staggered bit, see where that's going. And I just want to see where the others are.
Yeah.
I guess it's also where I need it's the big one, it's the big one because you're still going, well, what are we doing with the over here? So I think I agree it's a strong one, and I'm not saying that we can get there. I just would really like to do the moving hold, see what the other things are, and potentially come back to them, and then at that point, see where we're at as whether or not something needs to be recommended to. But I do knowing that there's also the other ones coming, and I know this is a different movement, a different thing, but I just want to keep it all a little bit there. But I'm happy with 49 and going with that number, being what we can do. That's my view.
I mean, just adding to that, with some flying out in the absence, in a perfect world, I'd win its entirety, but when you consider that it's a quarter of the time, I think very natural. It's kind of sets the landscape. I conservative. That's what I'm thinking.
So is there scope for the discussion? We can talk about kitchen, mattresses and bedding.
yeah, that's also a part of it. But that's so
And that goes with the resilience factor.
and that goes into their scope because so that you have that part in the front and the kitchen and the back. And so that would probably be a part with that 49 would actually help to cover a lot of what they needed.
So what we're saying, we're going to give them 49. Then determine what the 49 should be, or do we make recommendations, or do we just leave it?
I think they've already got a plan. I think they, yeah.
Would be nice if it's a plan, it would be nice to see.
I haven't they haven't come back to us. What time frame did they come back to us? To give us their
So within 12 months, but we did agree to do quarterly milestone check-ins. So through you, Chair, the mattress, bedding and linen, a chiller equate to about 44,464. And there's a few other miscellaneous items there, just noting that from an accountability purpose, you would either want them to show that they have paid for the items in this project request rather than it's just the enhancement project. You would want to be a little bit more specific into what they were purchasing with the grant funding, so we could see that.
We could just let them know that we're needing to know where the money is being spent, so we just need that accountability, you know, that coming through. So just with all of that, aware of that, they'll be able to get that back because they may choose to keep it till it, because they need more stoves, you know.
The biggest reason why I'm keen to do this one is because of the emergency resilience stuff. So if we're saying it's 49,000, and then you've got a list of things that we'd like to get as part of this project, if you can prioritise the things that
The
the line with emergency resilience.
We can make that recommendation in the grant letter. So you've been granted this amount. Our recommendation is that you prioritise the emergency management items that deliver.
Well, this aligns with our council, you know, like with the work being done with the council. So,
And will you delegate the additional funding?
Yeah, I think we would.
Then-
I think if we can have a holding pen, so that as other kind of application come in within those we would be recommending over and above, so we know this one we've maxed out. And if we get that's for the next sense of movement, also actually there's some of the money and it would be good to be able to have.
So the danger you face if you go with the full amount is if all three come in at the same level, that's 3/4 of the money gone without anyone else. Assuming 2 of them arise at some. So I will support the 49 at this point. With that single and then there's some other really good ones on here as well that we should consider.
So what if you're like with potential to recommend a further allocation at a later date to council?
We reserve the right to consider the balance certificate.
Yeah, and potentially for them to report back on early on the plan.
If we would like to see how they're getting on with this part first prior to looking at the additional. At further.
I just see 2 of us.
Yes, I think my understanding is Kohanui is actually is mana whenua. It's
It is,
Hauriki
yeah,
is
absolutely.
a community marach, which is a bit different.
Yeah,
So
no,
I think
yeah.
that,
And then and Papawai is also mana whenua. Yeah. So I mean, there were 150 marae out around that coastal area at one stage. So it's, you know, and now there's 4 now. So that's another way to think of it. That actually in this marae is having to sustain an area that used to be sustained by 150 hapa. But because it's basically different farmer. Yeah.
One more. Should we start at the top and work down? Have we done that one? Yes.
Korowai course, outward bound.
Sorry, I haven't read the full report, and I apologise for that, but I don't really understand what we're funding. 5,000 seems very short. I hope for approval from students.
That's 70%, so it's not the application.
I'm in favour of this. So.
Well, I think there's this various opportunities. I think it's just retail or wider community. So it's done without I said that sure, but I think there's other source of funding for this. We have GCB. We've already done a few grants to. So I think there's other funding streams for them to go to on a per student basis rather than £5 grand.
Do you recommend to go to the charity?
I just think, yeah.
Community boards.
Charity stuff.
There's another component to that too.
Absolutely.
But it hasn't had any time.
Well, and I don't think that this is not a normal, right, this is not. There's going to be more. And you have to do something to.
Because-
A bit of a legacy, and I don't know that this gets a bit.
Because we still have the council funding as well, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the committee also saying that.
Got the youth funding.
You do. Yes.
What we do this.
So I think
Yeah, no, so I just,
part of the reason for coming here is that because the courses in September, they wouldn't be eligible. Time would be met, but the recommendation could be to go to the community boards. Is that?
Yeah, it's with the year of many. So.
And so that's a decline.
and it would be quite nice to know, you know, like what students from each of our areas, so if they went to Featherston Community Board, if they went to Martinborough Community Board, you know, if those students actually came, then we could actually get some positive feedback after the course to understand what they had done. And that's one of the things that at the community board level, we do actually ask that people come and report back, so we know what, you know, how our funding has worked effectively.
So, next one's the cobblestones.
2 sheds of cobblestone.
So can you remind me the scale of the work you're able to do? Quite a bit more than we're asking.
So yes, so they have done amazing. They've done such a good job.
Yeah, they really
Part of that is also conditionally tagged funding. So if they get a sort of threshold, they're confirmed a sort of threshold from some other funders. I don't think they spoke to it, but from my perspective, not knowing too much about cobblestones and other than visiting, the level of volunteer engagement is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And so the impact to the community isn't just the children that will walk through the museum or the tourists, it's the people that tinker and tidy and volunteer that have a space to connect. And that facility essentially will be a storage space for some of the other, for the carriages, but also a space where children can interact, and they are looking at long-term vision, doing holiday programs and potentially working with the ex-principal from South End Primary School to look at how they can deliver more stuff with schools, which I think is quite exciting.
The other side. So currently, I'd be reminded, Upwhite has no presence in Greystown.
That too, huge.
Yeah, unless you go down Upwhite, you have no idea what some yellow signs at White by Channel Surf Station and that's the fabric was below a large part of the inside of the museum.
It'll be the front.
That's where the carriage is.
Yeah, it's really right at the front.
They've built.
Yeah.
So the museum actually also get that story
Across.
being across and being told.
Yes,
So yeah, it's hugely positive for.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, essentially it's the exhibition hall they've done, is really all of that out and start from that. So I mean, I know compared to Robert sport this, but even like, for instance, this, during this fire nights, but they do open days all the time. They have the open days, they have they have games from the time periods, they have all these different sort of things that they sort of do out. They do amazing. So much there to the community and sort of, and they do is where they can do the work themselves, they do. And so when they ask, they really realise.
So the biggest thing for me is that the application was done with the support from
Yes, yes.
the obviously
Endorsement.
Yeah, that's nice. No, so,
I would say that we would follow fund this, bearing in mind that we also have 2 other pretty chunky applicants specific to Greystown. And whether
Calling out this one, listen, I hear this talk about fun. Seeing it as otherwise.
yeah,
Yeah, where it's done, it's like doing it. This one.
So
yeah, but
we can, so
we could have been at 45 more.
yes, you can come back to it with the total. And I think, again, I mentioned my recommendation. Typically, best practice is around 80% for capital projects. I mean, if we wanted to be a bit more lean, considering this is the first meeting, we could go to 70 or lower would, you know, come back, but my recommendation would be no less than 80% of the capital base.
No, if the chunk of their funding is conditional on getting to a threshold, I think we should make sure that, you know, our funding is going to help to over that. You know, if that's what it's hanging on, you know, that's it's kind of sounds a little bit like it's not necessarily all or nothing. Certainly a chunk of that figure. It's
Ask everybody to speak up. I'm really sorry. Yeah, I'm just really struggling down here, so.
That's what I moved down here.
So next we have similar project, the Studio 73 seismic resilience and extension project for Greytown Little Theatre. That's part of the conditional funding that they mentioned, like they have an amount secured if they hit a certain amount, and that is for the size of threatening.
Interesting with this one is that if the council actually retains ownership of this at some point, things go pear-shaped for the theatre.
So the lot.
It becomes council asset.
So that the investment now.
Investment.
Oh, does council own it?
Yeah, they have the long book essentially.
So they just get the lease, do they? All right.
So there's the space behind the public bathrooms, which is council land. So the extension will go out into that grass space, which is essentially dead land. They've received the resource consent and the land agreements from council. The building itself is owned by the trust. But if the trust were to fall, the assets will be gifted to council.
What trust? Greytown Trust.
Greytown Theatre Little Trust.
No, not trust lands.
So it's a Greytown Little Theatre.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically the default goes to council.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like a lease. They've got a lease. Basically.
They own the building now where the theatre is.
Yeah.
Right next to the toilets.
Yeah.
Which council owns, the one vote towards the
Yeah.
which we make it cut. We're going to do is, and that would do it, it's extension, which would have the toilets, kitchen, and a right now you're walking off the street straight into the theatre, right? So on Liberia, it's also like a bar, their plan is they're seeking sponsorship of the bar, like maybe once in the bar. So the council is like, so that will the land this year for that extension to go on to, right? Everything's happened though, Greytown Little Theatre, no one operates them, that and the building that they own, which is the theatre is, goes to council.
Just council. Okay.
So the amount.
So we gave them, was it how much we gave them for the last year? 5,000 from the community board last year. They are like that building's in use. So
And
it's not just.
Cover it.
Yeah.
They do, but like some of the things they actually do that are kind of you can spend. This is, for instance, that chair you talk about, that's from senior citizens, you know, and that's what they come up with. And there's someone who sort of donates their time. I think there's something done on when they did those special sport people. This person came and created it. So there's a lot of reach into all demographics. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. You're hitting an aging, you're hitting an aging, you're hitting a lot of different demographics here.
All right, I wrote that down about there. It's really down for exercise, Tai Chi, art school drama.
I think it's the mobility classes of Nuka Aura, so they use that space towards the.
So they're needing.
They've requested 45,000, and I think they were a couple hundred short, but they are going to put in that application for lotteries.
And they said that bid would be possibly received better if there was some
endorsement from council.
Yeah, but would it need to be the full amount? When he said that, I didn't get the feeling that it needs to be the full 45,000 that he needed to be able to hit what he needed was to show that the council was backing it.
I would imagine, just based on the industry, it would be no less than 80%. if they've requested an amount, the amount that they've requested, because it shows that you're invested in it, and that the capacity that you're willing to give within the fund is worthy of the investment. So the 80,
Who's like, so you're talking about the investment for the fund,
For them to get the lotteries, yeah.
That's what we're asking.
I don't think it's
80%.
He didn't say that they needed a specific amount in order to lock in lotteries. But he did say that any funding that came through council would help.
It would,
If they'd like to see the worth.
and so when you apply for another fund, that the IA, for example, or pub charity would say amount requested, organisation, and amount granted, so that 80% is usually best practice for capital campaigns. So showing an investment of 80% or more shows a strong endorsement versus 70% or less.
Okay, so maybe 36,000.
36,000.
Because I'm just thinking, it's very, and it's a very difficult thing. It's one of the first things that I learned when I came onto council, is that while we would like to give everybody the highest amount that we possibly can, the reality is that we can't. So we have to be a little bit more cutthroat, and I just, you know, I can see where things, it would be awesome to give everything to do that.
So the next one was the Greytown Art Gallery.
Now, we've just given them a whole lot of funding, so I'm not keen because we've just recently given a whole lot of funding and helped them to with the procurement of the building. So I feel that the council's actually got quite a significant amount in this. So.
I actually agree with that, strong on this. What you've said here is potentially for people that hold.
yeah.
I want to see them. And now that I was just sitting there doing stuff. But I don't know, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm a wait and see now. Yeah, I'd like to see more of them, what they're doing in the community. So.
I think it's also that's been sustainable art workshops, but then it was most of things is the last one.
But there was also, but they said that the other thing that bothered me is that they talked about doing printing, but then they needed a printing press. That was at the top, and I was like, and then if you get the presses that going to go into community workshops, or well, it just is that becoming something. So
Yeah.
I have more questions than answers for that one. So
No.
it's either a hold or a decline.
Yeah.
I'll make one that needs.
Yeah.
Or would you feel comfortable and that?
Yeah. And I think as well, that it's more important. I think we've covered that by helping out with cobblestone, then that is actually being, giving Kapawai a really good present to, to build on. And I just haven't, let's just hope this. We've actually accepted things in the past from them already, just in the space of the last few months, with the fact that they are working with Kapawai. And I just don't think that this.
The big cobblestones in the studio 73 show community engagement, broader scopes, reaching, different touching. So and that's like, I mean, they can always strike them and become active, but at this point, I would want more.
So I'll note those recommendations and send letters to all the applicants and let them know that they are able to apply again. I think also with this project, the anticipated date was beginning of next year, so they do have some time to do a bit more planning, get a bit more endorsement from the community to then present at a later meeting.
But I think it might that they community did in their workshops. It's kind of like I just need
Decline.
Declining.
they're
Like, if
welcome
we
to
define
apply
they can
again.
come back, they can come back. If we define it, they can still come back again.
They can reapply.
Yeah.
The next one is the Greytown Sports and Leisure Society Pavilion at Soldiers Memorial Park.
So the program is just like super proactive, it's like jumps on. It's a low maintenance stuff in here, she's been put. It's first round. That's it straight on.
But there wasn't a big lead on life, remembering, there wasn't a big.
What I think is, Soldiers Memorial is a massive project that's been going on. So it makes sense that they were ready to come in and ask that they already had all the ducks in the row to be able to apply early with this. And I do think, I think he's presented
Really well.
really, really well. I can see the benefits of this facility.
Yeah.
It does be mindful of the fact that council has already committed a lot of funding through this. And I think that this should be on hold for now.
I mean, but I don't need to wear the other funding. For other ones. You know.
What about the advance in there to be fair, significant.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did think that when I first read the application, it's like.
Maybe that was more the advice we need to see back. I prefer the whole minute decline because I do know that there's a lot of issues and reasons and other things that are going behind it that you can't capture in 5 minutes. You get ideas, especially if there's also kids tremendous to it. But I think maybe we should just say, I think you did a great presentation. I think.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, I think there's more to it, maybe like, so maybe again, it's kind of.
I also kind of like the facilities at Soldiers Memorial Park. I know this, it's a different thing, but then I think about the facilities in Easton.
Yeah, with Rosman. So it doesn't.
Yeah.
Sorry, split it up in that, equivalent of an organisation, sorry, for reinvention from Winston and last equivalent. There's still. Well, that bunch.
Yes, I think it would sit that one is on, and just make sure that the next, funding, comes up, that this is still on the table.
Yeah, that's celebration. That's so, yeah.
Right, the birds.
On the parents. Yeah.
Sorry.
I'd almost do 20. No,
This is one where we could,
but I think if we get 20 for them.
this is one where we could look at because they've provided, quotes for multiple.
I see, so we could actually look at doing that.
So we can look at, so we can look at the budget,
Is
so,
$500 specialty.
What page is that on?
79.
And I know it sounds like, but if you, when they're in different states and those things, especially those babies, like, I tried to, I did get very far on 2-star, but then they got the wrong feed and they were gone in a second. So, if you feed them too soon, the wrong stuff, it is quite crucial and timing is significant. So these are expensive.
So I think one of the things for me with this organisation, one of the things that in some ways comes against it is that it's not based in South Auckland. It is based on Wellington, but it does service. And like you say, it's hoping to kind of weigh up. The other thing too is that she doesn't differentiate between exotic species, and it was purely around native birds, I would be a lot more in favour of it. But I mean, things like starlings, I think it's violence,
Yeah.
it was doing it at home. I think when it's something that we're, native birds.
So it's like next week.
Yes, yeah. And, you know, sort of speak on behalf of the local vets, because a lot of people will find injured birds and bring them to the vets, and then the vets have got no way to keep them and nothing to do for them.
Vets don't know how to look after birds.
They don't know how to look after birds, but they do enough. Driving after work on Friday to catch a bird or a bird to London.
I've been there. Well, yeah, and there's another gentleman who's in Wellington. I have to be honest, the wild bird center up in Massey is the best place to go to birds. And I take.
So
It's there.
you consider the like.
The fact is going for dog, which
Yeah.
maybe is going to be both. See, the dog is different because that does show the database because, and you do because of, just going back to the hawk, because it was a native bird, you're not technically, like, I'm not allowed to look after it.
That's what I was asking.
And that's, yes, you're not actually, so that, because I was actually not there, I was at work, having this conversation with the dog person, and what it broke down to is what they finally came to realization is we actually have to come get this bird from you because you technically can't have it because you're not allowed to look after it because it is protected bird. And so the fact that she's going for that dog conservation, I would say is she's going to the neck focus, and that is that support sort of behind. So again, that's what I would. So I'm definitely
Can I test another piece of help? I'm not entirely sure at all. So, there should be a co-investment pilot. Well, happy to be, and I'd like to think about funding the project.
Get in there and not get in there.
my pilot interest. I mean,
I'm looking at this and I'm saying 20,000, and that pretty much covers the cost for the shed, the aviary, and most of the brooder things. I just don't. But there's been my things. Okay, yeah, so, right, so that's, you know, so 20,000 is kind of, that's a commitment on the South Wairarapa to set an example for the other councils as well.
I think I did. I added the shed, the aviary, and one brooder, and it equated to 19. So 20,000.
Yeah.
You can probably get the shed there because it's
Yeah.
that's tied. Even though it's transportation, it's tied to getting the shed there.
If you go to one, just two.
Yeah, one brooder and a shed.
And can I, my piece of breakfast.
On 9 beds, yes.
But what I'm saying, that it's a kiddo or if it's a sparrow, it's just not a.
The client said, because they've got to wait for a native bird to come in.
yeah.
So, I think you've got to be correct.
The other thing too with this is we are on the house in a minute. About to get bird flu in the country. We've got very little set up for protecting species, and so if we're investing in stuff like this now and able to set it up, there's a little bit of time.
That's good. That's a really good.
Actually, do what?
20. Courage Dear Heart, a celebration of wellbeing journey. So this is the only Featherston application at the moment. I'm hoping we will receive one from the Featherston Community Centre in the next round.
Okay.
I loved her presentation, and I thought the passion and the exuberance was amazing. And I think the thing that I loved about her application was that she's had this idea, got into her head, she's got the funding, and then all these other people are just jumping on. So it kind of shows that there is willingness within the community.
This one had more direction than the community. I mean, this one has like, it has a direction and definitely.
Yes, yeah,
About diversity
Yeah.
and youth voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
Let's give them $10,000.
Oh, okay.
Anybody?
I don't know, this has never been done before, it's really, this is, first time, first time.
So I have to clarify, I come from a background of retired. Enthusiastic. But having said that, I push up for that as well.
And they piloted last year, so they did do it last year with some success and just the money that they received from the volunteers and support.
You've got the contacts, right?
The accountability reporting back to us, I think, will be quite important in seeing
Yes,
how the event works. So, and just attendance, but those are the measures of the wellbeing outcomes that have been articulated.
But yeah.
Like personal stories, like if, even if they had sort of a
Case
facility kind of thing or a corner where you kind of went and gave your expressions of how you, this constant of what the thing did before what came, even if they could put that together in snapshots, something like a video of collection of people that attended. Would be something I would be interested in.
Yeah.
Being those.
I really love about this too, is what we things certainly in mental health spaces. You think somebody to stand up first and say, "Here's my story. That this is my, started here and now I'm here." It's great. Before other people can start. Well, that's what I think. That's what's job.
I mean, no offense to, sorry, apologies to New Zealand, but as a half Kiwi, and I must say, when I came here, I was shocked at kind of the lack of acceptance of mental illness professional rights. I feel better about that, but we still don't really know where and how to do the expressions to that, to find ways to do it. So that's why I do some things that I'm happy. It is something that constantly gets speak.
Yeah.
You have to say it's okay.
Yeah.
In terms of what it is, I guess just how it's a festival fitness rather than.
Yeah.
It's just for me, it's more of a thing.
That's what we
Oh,
On that, it makes sense. It's one of the little bit.
I like that. To get some understanding of growth over time. So they pull it off. It's a great success. It's good right on the paper and then what's there. It's a big and it's not for totally.
The South Wairarapa Community Festival.
Yeah. This one,
Sorry.
yeah, I want to be excited about this one, but it was very, to me, it was so confusing about everything that they're wanting to bring together. I couldn't see a cohesive thought through it. And because I can't see cohesively what it's going to look like, I have a hard time at this stage committing the funding to it. And I appreciate they want the funding to get the idea. I really need the idea.
yeah.
You can't.
You can't.
It's the resilience. Resilience is what it's built to.
Resilience in what way?
The community resilience.
Building connections.
About building connections.
Yeah, but
So network.
but when we, I don't know. It was there was still not one single thing could be named that was actually was yeah.
If you look at like the pricing, like one part of the pricing was for the ponies, and I'm like,
What ponies? What?
well, that was because that's what they have in thing, but if you look at the thing, but if you look at this, like,
Yeah.
you know, we want to, and that's why I'm saying is I think they need to tighten up their plan and come back. So if that means we move November into February, then maybe it moves from November to February. But to me, it's I need more info, I need more direction. I just, in fairness, yeah.
I think it's a good initiative.
That's what I want to.
Is this the one that the community boards?
No, it's supposed to be, it's the three community boards, this is the fund that they're bringing together. So that's why I want to support this one. I want to.
But I need more info, yeah. Infos, yes.
You saw there's the big California funding, it's like country village here, which means $6 million a month. It's still only $30,000 for a one-off over a weekend, but that's we know what it's doing.
Yeah, we just have to have some, there has to be some, and it was, you can't wait for the money, because that's not what drives anything in a small community.
No.
Actually, like,
You said, it's
the end of it.
it's Therese said about the courage thing. It's a festival with a purpose.
Yeah.
I need this to be a festival with a purpose. It needs more than just community or even resilience, because I need to know what we're focusing towards. I understand resilience in the sense of emergency and some that, but you know, it sounds like we're trying to make a big social event where everybody's social and we're bringing them together. But again, like you said, what's the drive? What's the whole?
What's going to drive me through the gate?
Yeah.
I think it's next year, new funding, like.
Look at the long-term plan.
I just think we just need more time with it.
Yeah.
So I think just we can look at this as a decline, and I think to type the application with the benefit that we're going to see.
We'll do it as a whole and tell them that we need more for the next meeting. Oh, no, that's no, it's the
application.
Yeah, we need a new application.
It's,
We need the application and.
yeah.
So councillors?
For me, those choosing to meet together, actually breaking different things. I didn't understand the exclusion for, the binary. But like the sidewalk, which you've seen the logic revenue source.
Yeah, and stallholders actually pay some money towards it, and then they.
She had been facing that, that was gonna be like a big concert, so I was expecting to sort of hear how that was gonna do that, when it was going to, and then when it hasn't turned into, we had a conversation and talked about the different groups each having. It's quite up.
I think my understanding was it a celebration of the South Wairarapa, all three towns and locales, and event for residents to enjoy, but for new residents to feel like there's so much to do, so much to see, so much to be involved in all this community. So we need to, yeah,
We all wanted that pitch. Was what
it's a brick.
Yeah, I like the pitch, I just need to, what's that look?
Sort of almost the father one, big head.
Yeah.
Without accuracy.
Yeah, without.
I got famous.
Yeah.
So an AED for.
So it's that's.
That was a decline to get.
Oh, decline with the mother.
No, sorry, before.
How did the subcommittee feel about the event, the schedule of Courage Their Heart? That they provide an event plan, an event schedule that support the South Wairarapa Community Festival, and a future application of an event schedule.
The
The Courage Their Heart application spoke to the 2 days, the series of events that would happen in those 2 days, different contributors.
I mean, on that scales though, so the Courage Their Heart is the smaller time. So I think the problem with the South Wairarapa Festival is it's trying to be too much to even those.
Trying to be,
So I think even if they came back with a schedule, it's still missing that identity of what, what is the purpose of it? Is it for, how do we know it's?
it can work though, like, yeah.
I think it could.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, is it gonna be an AED show without an AED? But, I mean, is there gonna be what games are gonna be? Is there gonna be a concert? What sort of concert is there gonna be? Is there gonna be a festival that's supposed to be? Yeah, well, this is just like more structure around insert an identity of what it is, so you can see the identity.
AEDs.
AED for non-residents.
I just struggle with this one.
No. Yeah, no, I don't think it's the theory. It doesn't sit here. No, just doesn't sit here. It's
It's a non-strictly isolated location, and it's not going to be suited to the community. You have to go there to get deeper. Yeah. I think it's just sort of saying that is.
the thing is.
It's a very spread out community.
Well,
The thing is that, I mean, I know it seems like a couple of minutes, I know that does matter. However, it's only a couple of minutes to there and it would be the same as, well, we need to actually put one in New York Street because, you know, that way, if I'm on Cologne Street, I can run to there and get it, which is the point of having it here at the fire station, you know, and having them. But I did pick up on the fact that perhaps something that could be looked at, not here, but is helping with the resilient part of having the training.
Yeah.
Now I actually thought that was a really good point, and that wouldn't hurt for, you know, to have like some community members who actually want to go. I know that Angela actually held a really good one here, that there was a lot of people that came within the community, so they do know how to actually utilize. And
But it's not just that.
we have that in our
Resuscitation.
yeah, it's right. So, but I thought that it was a good point. That perhaps may be able to be looked at. No, but what is more of an ongoing?
I'm just saying.
It's more of an ongoing thing. I know we've had one already here in the community.
We're going to continue to do.
Yeah.
That's all you got. What's the setup?
So we'll decline this because it just does not fit here with what this application is.
Community.
Yeah, that would be.
So I don't think it sits with the moving this right, it doesn't really.
Yes.
We could get any community group to say it's on the periphery of the town. How far out of town is too far in order to trigger this?
If 2 minutes was the tester.
Yeah. I mean, that takes me up to 2 minutes to walk down my drive sometimes.
There's one second.
Where do we end up?
Because 9, oh yeah, 15, 5, yeah, that's 10, that's 0, yeah. I think it's actually good at 1/3 of what we actually had. I think it's really good. Yeah, I think so. And I think it's the right, I think that sits in the right where it should be for the first go.
If you divide that by the 500, that's.
Yeah. I think, you know, if we were to do that each one, we'd be.
I'm happy.
Okay, a few more items on the agenda that we can flip through. So I think we need to resolve, we need to, also we need a resolution.
Decision. It's good, we're being very patient. So I'll go ahead and move it to, receive the community wellbeing fund summary and applications report and approve the allocation of grant funds to the applicants that successfully meet one criteria for fund bond council final for wellbeing outcomes. We have a mover, we have a shaker, right, all those in favour? Yes, anybody against? No, great, motion is.
What am I against?
Sorry,
Before you move on, can I suggest that there's a table put into the minutes to the grant summary that you've just got on there, just so that the resolution's clear.
yes.
Yeah.
We were granted to.
Are you just stating what you granted or just stating that?
The table with the
Oh,
pacifying whole.
I think that everyone's small table.
I think that should go in here because when it's clear what you've done, if you come back to the minutes, you'll know what you've done.
Yeah.
Great. And maybe with that table, a small snapshot of feedback about why we did.
Yeah, I can do that.
Go in the minutes anyway, yeah.
Great. So if I turn to two, we're now discussing the community wellbeing fund communications activity. It's it. I'm going to move on, receive, and second, I'll say. That's right. Everyone in favour? No one against? Great. Motion is carried. I mean, all this. Wait, what?
No chair. That's like, Janice.
Martin, Martin,